Hey everybody. So behind me there's a cab. And guess what numbers are on top of the cab? That's right, 4444. So you guys may have heard of 144,000, the call of the 144,000, 144 as a number, 114, 111, 14, 141, 414, 222, 1111. So it's quite fascinating, these number codings, and people sometimes don't quite understand what they mean or even know how significant they are. Well, this morning I was yet again woken up by my pesky neighbor. Let me adjust my camera for a second. Sorry for all the rambling. You're on my dash cam. So my neighbor upstairs making a lot of noise at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting ready for whatever it is that he does every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, waking me up. And his two cats and his dog decide that they also too want to be part of making noise. So I was a little bit restless this morning. But in the foreground I heard crows chirping. And I'm thinking, crows don't really start at 5 in the morning. I just thought it was a little weird. So in my mind I'm thinking like, let me look out the window, and I could just see a little bit of light coming through over the east horizon. But then I was like, for some weird reason, thinking to myself, quite possibly, is it the light that is waking me up and not my neighbor? Hear my point. So it's just quite fascinating that there's like a code signature or some kind of frequency at a certain time of the day, and now I've been like very adherent to it, that there is something behind all of this, because I wake up literally before 5:30 and after 3:45 every day now, every single day. And it's like as soon as the light barely peeps through, I think this is like the real sun that we don't really see during the day. It's almost like I get a little bit of that energy from the real sun, or whatever is harvesting itself near the sun. It's like there's a window period where it basically, you get a download of energy, you wake up. So long story short, so what's interesting is I was thinking about the dates and times and this light thing and what's the correlation, because a lot of people are unaware that number codings and days, they're all coded, and the codes do make sense. The codes do correlate to something. There's another cab in front of me. 444. So for instance, today in America, I don't know where you are, but today is September the 15th, right? So you have 6 plus 9 gives you 15. You add 1 plus 5, it makes a 6. So we're in what's called a loophole, where days like this, you may have deja vu, you might have a parallax, which means like you're doing something on autopilot because you were so familiar with how you did something, but you may not have even done it before. You may have deja vu, you may have a past life regression if that's your reality. You might remember something and write it down, but you've never remembered you never really correlated to the situation. I just think it's funny. You guys have to see this. 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. 5, 6. So when you see these kinds of like codings like that, it there's a lot of significance around you if you just kind of pause and look around and pay attention to it. I know it sounds a little foolish, but a lot of times that's how you get your downloads. That's how we collect these divine messages, because everything has a synchronicity. We're in a matrix. So if there is a quantum code, or if there's a quantum interaction with your atmosphere, you know, laws of attraction and blah blah and blah, manifesting stuff, if you look at the right codings, you can actually help assist your environment. I don't like to say get what you want, because that's really not what we're here for, but you can help assist, you can help co-create. This is how you know you're in the vortex. If you are Abraham Hicks follower, this is how you know you're in your vortex. But back to the topic, codings and number coding. Like yesterday, for example, that was 9/14, and so you have 1 plus 4 makes 5, and 5 plus 9 creates a 7, right? Did I get that right? Where am I going with this? 1 plus 4 makes a 5, and then 5 plus 9 makes 14. Am I right? Yeah, it makes 14. So yesterday's date was a 14, but then when you add the numbers of the date across, it makes a 14. So you're in another loophole. So we've been in a loophole for 2 days. Tomorrow, tomorrow too, right? 16. So you have 1 plus 6 makes a 7. And then you have 9 plus 7, which makes 16. So it's fascinating, because if you look at the history of America and what has occurred from 9/11 to, I think this goes on until the 20th, believe it or not. Yeah, because if you have 9/18, I'm just going, this is off the top of my head. I can't do math off the top of my head. But you have 1 plus 8, which makes 9, and 9 plus 9 makes 18. So you have another, all this goes on until essentially the 20th of September. So we are in a wormhole, loophole, a gateway, if you want to call it. This is probably why we're seeing a lot of events happening right now, a lot of mysteriousness, but also too, you see a lot of transitions in our outer space, because I'm just from an observant perspective. It's not like I know everything, but from me observing, looking out, I'm like, shoot, a lot has occurred since 9/11, and it's still going, and it's probably still going to continue until. And it's weird, because if you go into culture and religion, you have Feast of Tabernacles, which is the following Sunday from now, and you have the Feast of Trumpets, which concludes the month of September. So sometimes you can kind of expect something major to happen on an international level, on a cosmic level, because we're in a wormhole right now. Even some people say, you know, the birth of Jesus technically was, you know, around this time. 9/11 was his birthday. So there's a lot of different correlations and synchronicities that are happening. And yeah, I think it's quite fascinating. I didn't think about none of this. It's until I just woke up like kind of grumpy. But being up so early and receiving the light from that was coming through my window, it seemed as though I had an etherical presence with me, and I just hit record right now, and this fell out of my mouth. So it was quite fascinating how, these things are so beautiful and well connected, and I'm just ever so grateful to know how to hone in on these things. It's so small, but it's so important at the same time. So if you guys are in like some hardship right now, really, really write things down and write what your intention is of why you wrote that, or how you see things, how you foresee things, or what do you desire, what do you want, or if prayer is your thing, pray to the Father. Put a prayer request, under your belt, and really see these things manifest and unfold for you, because they don't stay open for long. Like Abraham Hicks always says, before your vortex close, wish for what you want, but make sure it's a good wish. Gosh, I wish I weren't in traffic right now. I'm very fortunate. For me, I'm a dance teacher, so day to day I get to open a vortex, and people get to feel love and light and joy. And even if I'm really super tired and exhausted, I'm just ever so grateful that I could wake up every day and do something that I love and assist everybody with raising their frequency. And I think that's what it's all about. We're trying to move into a 5-dimensional plane, but it's almost like not enough people are quite yet shifted. So these things have to occur, but when you have loopholes and wormholes that are closing, it's like you have to kind of hurry up before, if you kind of think of it this way, let's say my cup of tea is, the inside is a wormhole, and before this closes, there's a transition of consciousness going into that. And so once it closes, people will be acting on one paradox as others would be on the other. So I'll guarantee that, like, we'll be having a lot of division and misunderstandings come October, or if we're still here in October. I'm not certain what's going to happen, but I've been watching and reading a lot, and so I'm very optimistic. If we are still here after October, it means that loophole closed, and you're on this side of the parallax or paradox, and then there's this side over here. I don't know if I'm making any sense to anybody, but have a great day, everybody, and stay tuned for more. And jasmine tea with honey. Take care. Bye.